What's going on, everyone? So yesterday we got an amazing matchup against France versus Team USA. Obviously, Team USA won the gold, as they should have. But Victor Wembanyama was absolutely spectacular. And, it really did feel, in many ways, kind of like the passing of the torch. You had the face of the league for the last 20 plus years going up against the now and future face of the league for the next 15 20 years. Obviously Victor still has a lot of work to do in the NBA, but I do believe that he is going to be the best player, if not top three player in the league within the next, could be as soon as next season, but we'll say within the next 3 years, right? I think within the next 3 years, you're really going to see Victor continue to take strides. And I thought that this game, not only was he spectacular, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 to 19 from the floor, 3 of 8 from 3. Just did everything. Impact on the defensive side, the offensive side, just did everything. And yet he still is 20 years old, tons of upside, right? He's coming off of one of the more impressive rookie seasons that we've seen in a very long time. I thought Victor Wembanyama should have won Defensive Player of the Year. I don't care that he was a rookie, right? The award is supposed to go to who is the best defensive player in the league. And last year, by every metric, it was Victor Wembanyama. Now, if you wanted to give it to like an Anthony Davis or something, okay, fine. I would have been okay with that. But, I just think you've seen time and time again Rudy Gobert, who, not to discredit him, but he's not as versatile defensively as some of these other bigs, even Bam Adebayo, right? And Victor, I think, is going to win many Defensive Player of the Year awards. And it was just so fun to see him compete at this stage, at this level. The biggest game of his young career, the pressure, the fight, going up against the Avengers, essentially, right? And him to hold his own and really stand out against the best of the world, and to be the leader and to lead France into the gold medal game, right? And you saw the frustration, you saw him crying, you saw the passion, right? I love to see that. Not in the sense of ha type thing, but no, in the sense of you could tell it meant everything to him. He left it all on the floor. And that passion, that hurt, that anger, that frustration, all of that, he needs to carry that into the NBA and his young career. He'll probably be back. I wouldn't be surprised if he won a gold medal. His impact is just, it's unprecedented in so many ways. He is absolutely incredible, both sides of the basketball court. And, you're seeing a lot of these, the faces of the league, the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant, the Steph Currys, they're fading, right? They only have so many more years left in this league. Maybe LeBron plays another 10, but more likely than not, it's going to come sooner rather than later that Victor is going to be the guy. Right? I believe he is going to be the best player in the league. And I think it'll be sooner rather than later. And then I think by the time he's, 24, 25, 26, start getting into his prime, I think it's just going to be how many championships is he going to win? And, how much is he going to lead the San Antonio Spurs to the promised land? Right? Obviously the Spurs, as an organization, they still have a lot of work to do. I love the acquisitions that they made this season. I think Chris Paul is going to do wonders for Victor Wembanyama in his career. I think Chris Paul is really going to elevate Victor in ways that, he's never really had. Just to have that true point guard that's going to get him the ball in the right spots every single time. That's going to recognize the mismatches. That's going to recognize just the advantages that Victor has. I think Victor, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Victor's a 30-10 guy next season, and also the best defensive player in the league. I think there was a genuine argument last year that he was a top 15 player. I think with Chris Paul and just another year of natural growth and just the experience he gained playing for France, right? I think he moves into the top 10 argument. Like genuinely. And you've seen the strides that players take after playing for, an Olympic team, right? Like, yes, it's usually U.S. players, right? Like, Anthony Edwards kind of took a next step after the FIBA, and then, but you look at like through history, like Carmelo Anthony and the strides that he took, and his best season was after the '08 Olympics, and even LeBron like starts getting into that, like starts being around winners and he starts taking strides and all of a sudden, he's winning championships and stuff. And obviously Victor didn't win, but he got there. And even with everything stacked against him, he still was, one of the three best players on the court, right? I mean, LeBron was spectacular as usual. Steph really lit it up, but also Steph was more so kind of in that second half and then particularly towards the end of the game in that fourth quarter. I mean, Victor he was the guy that got it. You saw like it was LeBron, boom, that slam, and then Victor matched, and then boom, and then Victor. Like you just saw that everything flowed through Victor, as it will with the Spurs. And I just think that this was a huge, just learning experience and growth moment for him, right? He's hurting. He's angry. He's frustrated. And look, I don't think he has a talented enough roster to win a championship. I do think that he could get into the playoffs and get some playoff experience. I think even if he is the best player in the league next year, I don't think he has enough to win a championship, unless Vassell takes another step or, Castle's great right out the gate. I mean, I think Chris Paul is going to make them a lot better. I mean, you just look at his win percentage and win shares. So Spurs are definitely going to take a leap, but I just think that they don't have that clear-cut second guy alongside Victor. Right, Devin Vassell, he's great, but like, he still has a lot of question marks about him. Where like, if the Spurs had, a Kevin Durant, just using him as an example, I think the Spurs, with a very motivated, very hungry Victor, I think could potentially win a championship. And I just, like what we've seen from Victor is part of the reason why I press so hard in these videos about how I just think the Spurs need to expedite their rebuild. Right? Like, I think that the Spurs need to start really putting real talent around him sooner rather than later. Right? Like, I'm not saying that you have to, sell the farm right now. You want to be patient and find the right move, right? Luckily, the Spurs aren't in a place of desperation, right? They're not in a place where you have to get done. But I do think if that move is there and it presents itself, I think you got to go do it, right? Like, let's say Phoenix continues to implode, right? I think that and Devin Booker becomes available. I think you go all in for a guy like him. Like if that second guy really is there, I think you go make that move. And then I think you put the pieces around Victor and that other guy, and you go win some championships. I think you do it now. See, the luxury that the Spurs have is, again, obviously Victor Wembanyama he's special. He's clearly special. But he's also incredibly cheap. And he's not going to be this cheap for that long, right? Eventually, you're going to have to pay the man. And I just think right now you have an opportunity to really maximize the advantage that you have, right? He's not a guy that it's going to take, 3, 4, 5 years for him to be, one of the top players in the league. Like I said, I thought rookie season, he was already arguably a top 15 guy. I think as soon as this year, he could move into the top 10. even if he is still, just a top 15 guy, you go get another top 15 guy, you're in business now, right? Like now you're in a position to potentially go win a championship. And his impact on the defense side of things, to me, I just think it's a no-brainer. I think if you can go get that expedited process of, through trade or free agency signing next season or whatever, I think you do it. Because Victor, he's gonna be the face, right? And I know a lot of people like to say like, oh, a foreign player will never be the face and this, that, and the other. I disagree. I mean, look at some of these other sports, right? Like, there's the running joke going around where, LeBron, like everyone started clapping and LeBron thought that they were clapping for him, so he did the little thing. And and people were throwing out like, yeah, it's crazy how big these guys are until they go to another country, and then all of a sudden there's guys that are just as big as them, if not bigger, right? Like you look at a lot of like the soccer players and stuff. I mean, they're huge. I mean, LeBron's got a massive, but like, I mean, you're talking double almost in some cases, right? Like, I think the NBA wants it to be a universal league. I think they want it to be a global sport. And I think that eventually you're going to have a foreign player be the face of the league. I really do. I think you're going to have that. And I mean, look at the top like 10 players in the league right now. Right? Like you got like Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, Luka, right? You got SGA, right? Like you got all these guys that are, at the top of the top, and they're all foreign players. Right? Obviously you have, LeBron and AD, and and we'll see what strides, Anthony Edwards and guys like that take, but like you look again, you go down the list and it's like like 70 to 80% of the top guys are all foreign players. So again, it's crazy. And I just think that Victor is going to be the guy that's eventually going to be head and shoulders over everybody. I really do. I mean, he's just shown everything. I think he's a safe bet. I think he's shown everything that you want to see in that regard. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think like, yeah, he's going to be the face? It's just a matter of time. Do you think no? It'll always just be an American U.S. player. It'll be Anthony Edwards or somebody like that. Again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.